What's up? What's up? What's up, big sports fans? Welcome from the Grid to Rim Sports Talk Show. I'm Big Ken, joined by my co-host and best friend Monty Brown. We got yet another
Hey,
edition.
what's up?
What's up? We got yet another edition of sports here today. Another show to wow. We're gonna talk about NFL today. A lot of things happen in NFL right from the start, man. They wasted no time with having some drama for the week one of the season. So yeah, let's get into week one, Monty, and talk about what happened in week one.
Wow, man, it was a busy weekend. We had the whole entire offseason of NFL football dominated by Aaron Rodgers. Man, he was on that HBO special for crying out loud, man. The whole offseason. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, how's he gonna do? Man, leaving Green Bay, and what happens? And he gets hurt the first 4 plays of the season. First 4 plays of the season, tore his Achilles. And wow, that was a big impact. What I was surprised about was they actually won that game. I mean, Zach Wilson, I mean, he was benched last year, third string behind Joe Flacco and Mike White. Joe Flacco is no longer in the league, and Mike White, I think he's backing up Tua in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. So it's big. It's big. I mean, I foresee Aaron Rodgers coming back next year. It's going to be a long process. I mean, he's out for the season, but I foresee him coming back. I mean, 4 plays in the season, you got to come back from that. And wow, we'll see. I mean, got a big game against the Cowboys coming up, and we'll see how Zach Wilson does. I mean, they picked him up in 2001, didn't pan out. Like I mentioned, he was the third string last year, and so now's his chance to shine. He brought him back last week, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, the whole offseason was the down about Aaron Rodgers. They had the whole Hard Knock show following the New York Jets in their training camp and all that stuff. And Zach Wilson did have a bad year last year. I believe he was the number 2 pick a year or two ago, and then yeah,
Right.
he got all the way down to third string. He was a high draft pick, but he showed a lot of immaturity last year. But like I said, he did lead them back. He didn't look great, and they were definitely changing the play call, and they weren't willing to throw the ball downfield too much. But
Right.
he did throw one interception, but he made 2 or 3 big throws that were huge to Garrett Wilson. He
Yes.
put him right on the money. So yes, he's no Aaron
Yes.
Rodgers. That's obvious, but he's only in like the second or third season of his career. So like you said, let's see what happens with this guy. I know, obviously, New York Jets fans are just devastated because the whole hype, even before the game starts, because it's Monday night, we're celebrating, the September 11th tragedy in 2001,
Mhm.
and Aaron Rodgers runs out the American flag. I mean, and the fans are
Yes.
going crazy. I mean, and then like you said, well, Buffalo got the ball first. They got one first down, but then they punted. And then, like you said, on Jets' first possession, 4 plays, he got hurt. But I thought he looked, even before he got hurt. In my opinion, he looked like a little bit off. His
Mhm.
timing looked off, and I thought he was holding the ball too long on a couple plays before that, because the first play of the game was a run to the really good young running back, and he ran for like 26 yards. They got first down to like the 40-yard line. Like, he just took off, and then
Yeah.
the next three plays were pass plays. The first one, he just had to get out of trouble. He just chucked the ball out of bounds. He got out of the tackle box. He just threw that thing into the stands, to avoid a sack. So I'm like, okay, no harm,
Yeah.
no foul. It's second down. And then on a second down play, he was under pressure again, and I just thought he was holding too long. Like, he had chances to throw it. He was just kind of sitting there holding, and then he gets hit and he throws it, but it's incomplete. And then the fourth play, he gets sacked, and then I thought it was nothing at first. I thought he was okay. To me, this looked like a routine
Mhm.
hit. And then, but sometimes those hits are the worst ones. Everything looks normal, and then he's hurt, and then he gets up. At first, he gets up, but then he sits back down because he knows he's hurt. And then trainers come out there. Then when they show the
Right.
replay, um, you kind of see his calf flex a little bit, and I guess that was his Achilles going into his calf. I didn't know what that was, 'cause I'm no sports trainer
Mhm.
by any means, but I guess talking to people, that's what happened. Like, that's why his calf was kind of flexing and had a weird movement, because that was his
Mhm.
Achilles being torn. I'm like, or whatever. I'm like, oh my
Right.
God. So he is 40 years old. So I think he will come back. When you're 40, you don't heal as fast as when you're 25. So I think he will come back out because no one wants to, like you said, Monty, no one wants to end the season, your career, especially your career, on 4 plays into the first game of the year. So
Mhm.
I think he's definitely coming back. He does not want to finish the last chapter of his career like that. I've been hard on Aaron Rodgers, but I don't wish him to be hurt. I don't wish anyone to be hurt, so I don't want people to misunderstand me, because even in our text messages in our group talk with me, you, Jack, and Dwayne, I was like, I don't like Aaron Rodgers' attitude about some of his to
Right.
his receivers in Green Bay the past couple years, especially his young receivers last year. I thought he handled that situation really badly. But to your point, like you said last week, it looked like he was you know, he looked like he had greener pastures being in New York Jets. He had changed the scenery. It looked like he had got back to the old Aaron Rodgers. He was excited. Everyone's excited.
Mhm.
So it looked like he was kind of going back to the old Aaron Rodgers mode. So it is unfortunate. So, but I do hope he comes back. Like I said, I didn't like his attitude, but I don't wish no player, whether I like him or not, to be hurt. Especially the first game of the year, 4 plays in. That's just horrible, man. So horrible, horrible. It's
Right.
bad. But let's move
Yeah,
on. What's that? Go ahead.
I think he'll be back next year, like you mentioned. My prediction is this: no matter what happens next year, uh, takes him to the Super Bowl or the Jets lay an egg, next year will be his last year. He'll retire after this.
Yeah, I agree. And that was my thing too. Before we move on to the next game, I was wondering. I think I said in my text too. I was like, I think it's gonna be all or nothing for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets like
Mhm.
this year. But I didn't think he would get hurt. I didn't mean like he would get hurt. I thought maybe like either he would play really good or he wouldn't play good at all. That's what I meant by that.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I think there was no like in between with this thing, because they're expecting him to do really, really well. Like the expectations are through the roof. 'Cause they got the defense, they got the offense. I mean, they had the quarterback now. Like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they were expected to do something. So it's unfortunate, but they still might. Like I said,
Yeah.
Zach Wilson has the chance, and they got players. But let's move on to the first game of the season for the NFL. KC losing to Detroit in Kansas City.
Mm.
That was not expected. We did say
No.
we thought Detroit would keep it close because they're much improved, but
Yeah.
I did not think they would win the first game of the year against the Kansas City Chiefs. I did not think that at all. Um,
No. No. I knew it'd be close, but not like that. Didn't think they'd
yeah.
win it.
My thing was how the Kansas City Chiefs handled the last 2 minutes of the game. They had 3 timeouts left. It wasn't quite the 2 minute warning. It was 4th and 20, but then they get a penalty. It's 4th and 25. And they still went
Mhm.
for it. I still don't understand now, like why they didn't punt the ball. You had all
Right.
3 timeouts. You had the 2 minute warning. You're on your like 25 or 30 yard line. You're not past midfield, and plus it's 4th and 25. Like you got forever to go, and plus you still had time to make the ball back because you know what the Buffalo Bills are going to do. Not the Buffalo Bills. I'm sorry, the Detroit Lions are going to run. So you stack the box and just try to get them out in 3 plays, call your timeout, save the clock, and then you got the ball back with still like a decent amount left, like probably like a minute and a half left or something. Like you have time. So I did not
Right.
understand how like Andy Reid handled that whole situation. And what do you think about that?
It's possible because, for one, you have Patrick Mahomes, who best quarterback in the league. I mean,
Right?
but man, that's a big risk to take when you're that far fourth down. The other takeaway I have from that was Detroit was covering up that defense all night long. Uh, those running backs were having the field day, and maybe he just didn't trust the defense. I think that's the initial
That
fact.
could be it. That's a good analogy, Monty. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I was surprised. I was surprised why they did that. That's a good. That maybe that's it. That's really good. Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Another thing that's I didn't think it would be that huge of an impact. Would you believe as a team, KC dropped 8 passes?
Yeah,
8.
especially Tony. One led to
Wow.
a pick six.
Yeah, yeah. Tony dropped 3 of them, which caused that pick six. Well, one of them. Man, that's just missing Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey's practically a receiver, not a tight end, and
Yeah,
that's a big loss. And you can see the losses they suffered with Kelsey not being there. Chris Jones not being there on defense, which
Yeah,
would have helped stop
that
that run.
impacted it. Yeah,
Yeah, they
absolutely.
signed him finally this week, I think, to a $25 million
Yeah, I think it's a
contract.
1-year deal.
Right. So, man, those losses didn't help. Didn't help. They could have won that game. They should have won that game, but those losses didn't help either.
They definitely didn't help, but at the same time, and on the other flip of the coin is their backup tight ends replacing Kelsey played really well. They both had multiple catches.
Yes.
One of them had it for a touchdown. They both
Yes.
had multiple catches for first downs, and they were
Yeah.
playing well. So yes, they were missing Kelsey. I believe that 100%. And they definitely were missing Chris Jones, the anchor of the defense. You know, because like I said, Detroit was running on them. There's no doubt about that. They had good running backs. The rookie running back, you know, from Alabama did pretty well. You know, so yeah, he had a good debut. So I agree with that. But then some other friends were posting and texting some things to me throughout the week last week. They're saying that Kansas City got away with not getting called a lot of penalties against them, especially that tackle. He kept on false starting. I guess this official missed multiple false starts on this one tackle.
Yeah.
And plus, he was lined up way back past the other lineman, which was like an illegal formation. Like because they'll let you go back a little bit, like, but you can't go back. You can't go back past the waist. That's our rule for our organizations. You can't, when you're a defensive lineman, you can slide back a little bit. You can't go so far back where it looks like you're like a receiver in the backfield, you know. And right. I guess this guy was pretty far back. I don't remember that. I had to relook at that game, rewatch that game, but that was talked about. And he false started multiple times and only called like one on him. And he could have been called, I guess, like a couple more times at least. So some people think KC got what was kind of coming to him because they missed some calls in that game. So that's interesting. But I was still surprised.
Yeah, that last false start was obvious.
Huh?
That last false start, non-call was pretty obvious. I don't know how they missed that one.
Yeah. Exactly. Because some are pretty subtle, and, you know, I'm an official, so some are subtle, and it can count. Like, but though that was an obvious one. Like, that was not subtle. So, yeah, I don't know how that one was missed. The next game, our boys, the Dallas Cowboys, is dominating New York Giants in New York. I thought we would win, but I thought it would be real close. I thought it was going to be a grinder, beat-up, physical game, and it ended up being a 40-0 blowout, and we had the defense just went crazy. But the funny thing is, I'm in a fantasy league this year for the first time like in 15 years. I haven't done it since like I was stationed in Hawaii like in 2007 or 2008, and I haven't done it in a super long time. And I'm doing that at work with some work buddies, and the guy I was playing last week had the Dallas Cowboys defense, and he destroyed me because of that. So, so I was happy that we were winning the game, but I was also upset that the Cowboys were just racking up points for this guy. It's like, oh my God, this guy's just annihilated me because, you know, they were like a block field goal return for a touchdown, like a pick six return for a touchdown, like 5 forced fumbles, multiple sacks. I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy is destroying me. But I'm happy and mad all at the same time. I had mixed emotions.
Yeah, pros and cons of fantasy football.
Yep. So what do you think about the game? I was just happy how well our boys dominated.
Man, usually when they start off with the Giants, the first game of the season against the Giants every year, it's usually pretty close to start with. They're filling each other out. I know
exactly.
Dallas has had their number the past years.
Yeah, they have
4 or 5 years, but they've been close. The first games have been close.
Yeah.
But the defense we expected this from the defense. It's even better than last year with the additions they have. But
yeah, Gilmore had an interception. That's right.
Yeah, Gilmore. That's a big addition, man. That may have been the move to come over the top.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a beautiful interception. Yeah.
Excellent. So, yeah, boy, that defense is what really got me into watching the game. I mean, I was watching the game, and I was into it anyway, but I was focused on how good that defense really is. We expected it to be good, but man, I wasn't expecting that. Offense, we'll see what happens against this Jets defense. I mean, they didn't have to do much. Started off slow and then started to get things going later on. Dak didn't have to do much, really. Nope. He played a good, solid game. The running game was good and solid. The tight ends got to catch the passes.
Yeah, they dropped a lot of passes. I think they'll be okay. Yeah. They did drop.
Yeah,
they dropped a touchdown pass from Dak. Yeah, beautiful over the shoulder throw. He should have caught that. I couldn't believe he didn't catch that. That was a money throw. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
surprised. I think the tight ends will be okay, but they did drop a lot of passes. It could have
mhm.
helped. Yeah, that could have
It's a
helped Dallas
statement
out more.
game. I think it was a statement game because you got San Francisco's top team in the NFC winning big, Philadelphia. So Dallas had to say, "Hey, we're here too. We're here too." So I'm glad to see that. Got a tough one coming up against the Jets. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, good win. Good job by the defense.
Yeah, good way to start the season. All right, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks because I call them the Sea Chickens. I live in Sea Chickens country here in the Puget Sound, the beautiful Pacific Northwest. But they had a good first half. They're up 13-7. Geno looked good. Kenneth Walker, who's another running back I have in fantasy, who I started, looked good in the first half. Second half, they completely fell apart. They had a total of 3 yards of offense the whole entire second half. Kenneth Walker never got the ball. My points has dropped in fantasy, and of course, the Seahawks lost the game. I don't care that they lost because they're not my team, but I was upset about the fantasy. I think because Kenneth Walker he had a great first half, didn't do anything in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense and as a whole didn't do anything. I think they might have had one first down. They had 3 yards. But I know Geno Smith got sacked a couple times. I might have not put the yards back to 3 yards or something. But the Rams had like 250 yards of offense, and Matthew Stafford lit them up. I mean, he threw for over
Yes.
300 yards. So that was the difference
Yes.
maker with Matthew Stafford being back and not being hurt. Like Matthew Stafford and some rookie wide receiver. I don't know if it's from BYU or Utah or somebody. He had 10 catches for like 120 some yards. He lit them up. So yeah, Rams got going on offense in the second half. They just destroyed. Matthew Stafford picked them apart. So and they lost the game 30-13 after being up 13-7 in the first half. So yeah, they got scored 23-0 the second half and just got dominated. Yeah, what's your take on that, Monty? Did you watch the game? I was watching since it was on up here, of course, being local.
No, it wasn't on down here. But what I take from that is, well, I had Seattle in the game as well. The Rams had Cooper Kupp out. I think he's on injured reserve. He'll be out a little bit longer. But like you mentioned, you have this receiver step up for him. Man, you still got Aaron Donald. You still got
he had a sack.
Yeah, so that defense is still tough. And the Rams are saying, hey, don't forget about us. We won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. We know they didn't make the playoffs last year, but the core of that team is still there. And looks like they were going to challenge San Francisco for that division. So they made a statement of their own.
Yeah, they did. They actually did make it like we're back. Yeah, we're back. Don't forget about us.
Yeah, I counted them out myself, so that's the team I want to be watching.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we won a Super Bowl a couple years ago. Don't forget about us. We had an off year last year because a lot of people got hurt and we didn't play well. But yeah, don't forget about us. You're right. Game that completely shocked me was the Bengals and the Browns. Joe Burrow did not play well at all. Deshaun Watson didn't have a great game, but he definitely played a lot better than Joe Burrow, and he rushed one touchdown. I think he threw for like around 50% completion. He missed some throws, but he also made some. So he was okay on the throwing side, but definitely better than Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was not looking good at all, and they lost 24-3. So the problem with the Browns last year was they couldn't close out games. They're always in the games in the third and fourth quarter, but they never closed out. But they closed out this game. So I'm interested to see if the Browns can actually pull it off this year and be a good team because they look like they had potential being good last year, but they just didn't. Like I said, they couldn't finish. And they still got Garrett on the other side, and he had a really good game defensively, like always. Their defense is solid, and they got Nick Chubb run the ball.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson looks like he's coming back. You got Amari Cooper. He had 3 catches in the first half, another thing for fantasy, but then he had no catches in the second because they were winning big. So that's what killed me in fantasy was like all my main players was out because of the scores. I'm like 3 catches in the first half and then nothing in the second. He wasn't in the lineup very much. I'm like, dang it. So I'm just getting destroyed. But Browns look good though. What do you think? What do you think about that, Monty?
Amari Cooper. I'm still upset with Dallas for not paying him, but
you ain't
looks
lying
like they're
about
gonna do all right.
You ain't lying. I'm not happy either. Just imagine if we still had him.
Man, yeah. The thing about the Browns in Cincinnati, the past couple of years, the Browns have had some good luck playing against Cincinnati. They've had their number for whatever reason that is. I don't know. maybe it's a matchup thing. Who knows? But yeah, that defense, they seem to get to Burrow quite often. They seem unblockable. I watched part of that game, and yeah, they just have their number for some reason. Um, the Browns are going to face a team that has their number this weekend at Pittsburgh. I think they've won there once in the past 10 years, and that was like in 2001. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens there. But yeah, the Bengals are a team that could challenge for the Super Bowl, but for whatever reason, they just have a lot of trouble with Cleveland. I don't know why that is. I don't keep up too much with that division, but I do know that fact. That's just one team that they have trouble with.
Yep, you're exactly right. Yeah, it was only one game, so I know Joe Burrow and Chase and all those guys will bounce back because yeah,
Right.
he was just off, man. But it was rainy, and they're talking about his hands being smaller than normal for a quarterback, and he had a hard time gripping the ball. But the thing I thought about that was like, yeah, but he plays in freaking Cincinnati, and they play in cold weather, and he came from Ohio,
Yeah.
so I
Right.
don't know about that. But it's just one game. I know he's played in cold weather,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I think that's just one game fluke kind of thing. But I think he'll be
Yeah.
okay. The next game, Miami and the Chargers, that was
Mm-hmm.
a shootout. That was an exciting game, 36-34 Miami, and
Yes.
Tua went off, threw for 466 yards, 3 touchdowns. It looks like he's back, and then his receiver, Tyreek Hill, 11 catches, over 200 yards, and I think at least I know he had 1 TD, maybe 2, but definitely at least 1. I know for one, at least 1 for sure, and they just went off. Problem with Miami is they always get off these really good starts and they tank mid-season, end of the year, so I wonder if they can hold on
Mhm.
to like a full good season, but the talent is definitely there, and they looked really good in week 1.
Yeah, that division is going to be a dogfight. Miami looks like they have the 2 fastest receivers in the league. Just man, send them out on the fly pattern and just let it go. I mean, man, Tyreek Hill's fast, and the other receiver,
Waddle.
his name escapes me, Waddle. Man, he's just as fast. So, man, they're going to give corners nightmares, having hard time sleeping that night before they play them. But yeah, that's good. That Miami team's tough. I think they play New England this week. Uh, they give New England a lot of trouble. They have the past couple of years. Even when New England was good with Tom Brady, they've given them trouble.
Yep.
So, yeah, Miami's another one of these teams to watch. I mean,
They're a
this
sleeper. They're
week
kind of like a
one,
sleeper team, yeah. They could be
yes.
dangerous. They're a dark horse, yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yes.
Yeah, but the talent's there. They just got to play a full 17-game season, not play one half of the season, and don't play the other half so well. They got to play. They feel how to be more consistent.
Right.
All right, let's get into week 2 matchups. The game tonight. Vikings at Eagles. Who do you got in that one, Monty?
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm going to have to go with my head on this one as much as I hate the Eagles, but they're going to win this game. I have them winning. For whatever reason, Kirk Cousins has a hard time playing well in national televised games. He's done that with Washington, even at Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Philly didn't look as dominant as we thought they would last week, but they pulled out a tough win against New England. And I believe Minnesota lost a close one to Tampa Bay last
I
weekend.
think they
But
lost to someone that was close. Yeah, they're like
yeah,
2017 or something. Yeah, you're right. Um,
but
yeah,
this is at Philadelphia. It's gonna be tough to win there. I have Philadelphia winning.
I think it's gonna be tough to win there, and I'm probably gonna be wrong because Philadelphia probably will win. But I'm gonna go somehow, some way. I'm gonna go with Minnesota and play devil's advocate. Maybe Kirk Cousins finally get over that hump, and they want to get that first win of the year. And like I said, Philly is still really good. There's only one game they didn't look as dominant. Not saying they still won't be really good this year. They probably will be, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not firing. They're not firing on all cylinders right now. So maybe Minnesota can get this one. You know,
Yeah.
and Kirk Cousins can make a. We were talking about statements earlier. Maybe Kirk Cousins can make a statement, or he can completely play like crap again and do what he's been doing. So, but I like Kirk
Mm-hmm.
Cousins from watching that series they had on Netflix. I wasn't
Well, that
crazy about
quarterback
him, but
series,
then
yes.
when I watched that NFL quarterback, I was like, oh, I kind of like this guy. I hope he's not playing for our team, the Cowboys. I kind of secretly hope he does well. So yeah, he turned me into a fan.
Yes.
Next game, try to get through these because our time's dwindling here. But Ravens at Bengals, what do you think? You think Bengals will bounce back at the Ravens? That's a tough game, man. That's a physical game. Ravens
Ooh,
got physical
man.
defense.
Boy, is that a Monday night game? Boy, that
No,
should be.
no, the
Boy.
Browns and Steelers are the Monday night game, but it's a Sunday game.
Yeah, I think there's two Monday night ones. Wow, 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 wow. That should be a good low scoring dogfight, just like the AFC North is. But who, man, I'm gonna have to go with Baltimore on that one.
Yeah,
Man,
I'm with you.
yeah,
I'm going with Baltimore. I think the Bengals will start 0-2. I think they were 0-2 before, and then they still made the playoffs. They definitely can't go 0-3 though. I don't
yeah,
think any 0-3 team has made the playoff. I know 0-2
yeah,
teams have made the playoffs, so and they did something like that last year, getting off to a slow start, and they still got in.
yeah.
Um, Seahawks at Lions. That's an interesting one because the Seahawks lost. Will they rebound? The Lions they just came off a big win, so will they kind of like I won't say deflate, but will that big win will they come out flat in the second game? The Lions. What do you
I
think of
like
that?
how the Lions looked against Kansas City. They're playing at home, opening game at home. No, I got the Lions. I have the Lions winning this game. The way that offense is impressed me.
I agree. Lions have good running backs, and Seattle had problems with the run last week, so I got the
Yes.
Lions also. I think it's gonna be close. I think Seattle will play better, but I think it'll be a
Oh yeah.
close game.
Yeah, it
Um,
won't be a blowout.
Colts at Texans. I got oof. Colts looked good last week, but they lost. Two rookie quarterbacks going at it. Both rookie quarterbacks looked good last week, but they both
Hmm.
lost. That's an interesting game with the rookie quarterbacks. But they both played well, but they both lost in their debuts, but they didn't play bad. Um, Especially the Colts quarterback, he looked really good.
Yes.
Um, the quarterback from Florida. That's a
Yes.
hard one. Ah, my God, that's a real hard one. I think I got the Texans getting their first win of the year, but that's a seesaw game. That's a hard one, man.
Yeah.
Colts could win that
Yeah.
game.
Might be a 3-0 game. Who knows? But my pick for rookie of the year is Richardson, the quarterback from the Colts. So yeah, I'm gonna pick them to win this game as well.
Okay. Bears at Buccaneers.
Ooh, the
I
Bears
think
look
Bear, I think
horrible.
Bears will bounce back. I somehow, some reason, Justin Fields lost in the Green Bay game last week, but
Yeah.
and what's his name? The guy who took over for Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love played really well, had 3
Jordan
touchdown
Love.
passes,
Yes.
like really good. But Justin Fields
Yeah.
didn't play bad himself, so he had decent stats himself. So he's coming around. Um, Not as good as what Jordan Love did, but he wasn't no slouch.
Mhm.
So that's gonna be another low scoring game, man. Close game. Dang. I'm going with a lot of away teams this week versus somehow I think the Bears are gonna go 1-1, man. I got the Bears. I'm taking leaps of faith here.
Okay. I didn't like how the Bears looked at all last week. I was very disappointed.
Okay,
I was surprised on how Baker Mayfield played
that's a
with
good
Tampa
point.
Bay. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm going to pick them this week.
I like it. I'm not gonna switch my decision, but you're probably right. I didn't see how the Bears played. I just looked at stats. I didn't see the game, but I saw the stats from Fields.
Yeah.
Chiefs at Jaguars. I definitely think the Chiefs are bouncing back. That's one away team I
Yes.
definitely think will win. I think the Chiefs will win this game. I think they will bounce
That's
back
going to be
from.
a good game too.
That'll
Yeah.
be a good game. But I think the Chiefs got that one. Of course, Jaguars got the young, talented offense now and everything. They got decent defense, but I think Chiefs bounce back. If the Chiefs go 1-2, that would be very surprising.
Hmm.
The Super Bowl winner thing.
Yeah.
That'll be some
I
news.
got the
That'll be something to
Chiefs.
talk about next week if they do.
Yeah. Now the Jaguars up and coming. Now they
They
could
are
be
up and
Super Bowl
coming,
contenders in
absolutely.
years to come. So I mean, it wouldn't be a big surprising loss. I think the Chiefs are only favored by 3.5. So yeah, I'm still taking the Chiefs, but it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Um, Packers at Falcons. I got Falcons. I mean, Packers did look good last week, but I think the Falcons look decent also, and they're playing at home. I think the Falcons will get this one.
Bijan Robinson played like a monster
Yeah,
last week.
exactly.
Yes, yes, I'm going with the Falcons.
Yeah, yeah. He had a really good opening week. Yeah, he was a beast.
Yes.
Raiders, another good game. Raiders at Bills. Will the Bills bounce back? And I think yes, they will. Raiders did win a squeaker, 17-16 against the Denver Broncos, and I think it's interesting to see how Denver still can't score at all. But it's only week 1. But I'm wondering how it's going to be 3 or 4 weeks into the season if they're still not scoring anything like last year with Russell Wilson. But I got the Bills now. I think the Bills will definitely bounce back at home. And freaking what's his name played horrible.
If Josh Allen quits throwing interceptions, they'll win this game.
Yeah, he's like Dak Prescott, where he's really talented, but they just throw too many interceptions times, and people talk about that. They take too many chances. He's too much of a gunslinger sometimes. I think they will win. He is really good though. He is really talented. I like him just like Dak, but yeah, he needs to stop throwing those picks.
Yes.
Chargers at Titans. I got Tennessee. Tennessee lost last week, I think 16-15, like in this field goal game. But I think Derrick Henry and company will win that game in Tennessee.
No, I have the Chargers. I think they have too many weapons. You got Eckler, you got Allen, Williams, some explosive offense.
Yep, that's true.
Chargers.
That's true. Their offense is they lost a tough one, 36-34 to the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, you're right. Their offense is good, but I just wonder if Derrick Henry can control the game and run clock, then they can slow that offense down. So that's going to be interesting. But you have a good point.
Yeah.
49ers at Rams. I think 49ers are dominant on defense. We know that, but Stafford did come back, and God, like I said, I'm picking a lot of away teams. I think the 49ers are still too tough. I think 49ers will go 2-0 and win against the Rams.
Yeah, the 49ers are going to keep rolling. They're going to be tough to beat. Yeah, I got the 49ers.
There's a couple more games left. Well, let's do the Jets at Cowboys, our team, and then close up. I got the Cowboys obviously playing at home. I just hope we don't lay an egg at home for a home opener. I don't think we will, but Jets do got a really good defense. We saw that on Monday night.
Yes.
We knew that from last year. So
yes,
Dak Prescott needs to take care of the ball. We need a good running game to help Dak Prescott out, and the tight ends need to catch the ball, like you said, catch the ball. He threw you some money balls, and you guys were dropping them. So catch the dang ball. So as long as they do that, they'll be okay.
Yep, Cowboys winning, a tougher team they're playing, but I got them pulling it off. They're at home, opening home game. Yes.
All right, man. Well, that's our coverage for week 2. We're going to close, but as always, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing. We'll be back on next week, and we'll talk about what happened during week 2 and make some week 3 predictions, man. You got anything to say, Monty, in closing?
No, thank you all. Enjoy week 2.
All right, man. Peace. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
All right. See y'all.